Welcome back to the Aussie Shed, gentlemen. The new tri-wire headers are finally in, and today we start to build the new 2-inch mandrel bent exhaust system. So sit back, grab yourself a nice cold beverage, and we'll get into it. Rightio folks, well that's got our tri-wire headers in. Just up here, this is where I had to cut the piece of the bell housing off because it was hanging down below here and hitting on the top of the header. Unfortunately, you'd think they would have, I don't know, done something about that because that is a standard bell housing for one of these. Anyway, so yes, now all we've got to do is continue on from there. So the first thing we've got to do is build a X-pipe, which we will probably position, I don't know, just behind the gearbox crossmember here somewhere, before we then come back in the transmission tunnel there. Priority number one, I guess, build an X-pipe. So this exhaust system, folks, is just 2-inch, and you can see I've got 2-inch mandrel bends here, and so what I'm going to do is I'm about to run this just through my sort of bench upright vertical bandsaw, and I've just got a whole heap of 45-degree mandrel bends. You can see this is one I've already run through here, so I'll just put two of these together, cut them and just tick them together like that, and that'll give me my X-pipe. And once I work out the position where the X-pipe is going to be under the car, I can then sort of continue on with the rest of the exhaust system. Let's get this other one cut out. There it is, folks. So, two of them. I'll clean them up on the belt sander, and there you go. Instant X-pipe. Fantastic. Bit of a run around with the deburring tool, folks. And Bob's your uncle. That's what you get, folks. Just a perfect match up. Ready for welding. Beautiful. Things are progressing along quite nicely now here, folks. You can see this is the X-pipe starting to be sort of formed. You can see I've welded those two pieces that we cut out together. Then I've cut a section off to allow me to get this bend in. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to sneak in as tight as I can around the back of the gearbox crossmember on the Mustang. We'll go under and have a look, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So as you can see there, folks, this is the back of the transmission, gearbox, crossmember, and then we have this handbrake mechanism just above us there. So what I'm trying to do is sneak around the back of the gearbox here and get this piece in here. Yeah, you can sort of see where I'm heading. It's just a piece by piece thing when you're doing this sort of thing. Exhaust pipes have to sneak up in the transmission tunnel here, just either side of the tail shaft. So I've got a little bit of a height thing, like I can't get up high enough in that section and clear the handbrake mechanism, so I'm going to have to not only line it up like this, but step it up in height as well to get where I need to be. But it's just piece by piece, folks. As you know, if you've seen me build the previous exhaust system on the Skyline, just out of Mandurah Bends, it's exactly the same principle. You just sort of start somewhere and just start working your way along piece by piece, getting everything to fit the best way that you possibly can, and getting it all together. And there we go, folks, that's the fruit of our labour with our nice mandrel bend mid-pipe section, I guess you'd call it. As you can see, our original mid-pipe here, well, it was a whole pipe. It went straight from the manifold up there down to roughly in this position here where our new pipes start from, and then carried on from there. It just went into like a slip joint into the muffler previously, and one of the mufflers was really badly aligned, so I've corrected the alignment of the other muffler, and I've welded flanges onto that end so that the whole thing is basically just sort of unbolt, drop in, drop out. And yeah, it turned out pretty good, considering there's a nice tri-Y header that feeds into this. You know, nice X-pipe, all that sort of stuff. So there's quite a lot of height changes and various sort of things. It was quite a bit involved in doing this, but it turned out very well and I'm quite happy with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint this with just a ceramic high heat exhaust paint, just in black, because this is mild steel and it will rust and start to look pretty terrible. And I'm going to pull the original mufflers off, which is still in quite reasonable condition, other than the fact that they're pretty grubby looking, and I'll paint those as well. Tailpipes, as I say, have already been redone by another bloke a while back after we got the car finished. It went to an exhaust place because we put a different valance on this thing with the exhaust coming through underneath the bumper bar instead of under the vehicle, and he did quite a nice job on those. That's all mandrel bent, just welded up 2-inch stuff, just like this is. At least now the vehicle will have a full mandrel bent exhaust from front to back, which is pretty bloody good. So once it's all painted and slapped on, that's the end of the exhaust side of it. So yes, as I say, the tailpipes were done so we could fit these. The original rear beaver or rear valance was flat and had the exhaust coming underneath. This is the GT version that we just replaced it with when we did all the body work on the car. And this is where our tri-Y headers will start from to begin the exhaust system there. And that all just sort of flows up into our engine bay there. So I'll throw some paint on these and we'll put them on. And there you have it, folks. That's the headers and exhaust all done now on the Mustang. Hard to see with the black on black, but where are we? You get the idea, folks. You get the idea. It turned out very good. It's all painted and all that sort of thing. It is all looking real nice. So at this stage, folks, I think we're finished under the car, other than the bit of front suspension work that we're doing. It's time to move on to the engine bay. I think I'll swap the carby out. Alrighty. So we'll sign off on the exhaust system there, folks. And next episode, we'll hit the engine bay and change out the carby and all the other hardware that we're sort of doing there. So, as always, folks, thanks for stopping by the Aussie Shed. If you enjoyed this video, or at least found it in any way useful, give us a thumbs up. If you like my content, subscribe to my channel. And as always, guys, I'll see yous on the next one. Cheers.